Yes, the title is correct. Big Chicken is going to space. But that's not the only thing exciting about this booming restaurant franchise. People are a major part of their formula for success, and on this episode, I had the opportunity to sit down and talk to the Samuel Stanovich, Big Chicken's SVP of Franchise Leadership. Sam is an author, a connector, a servant leader, and one of the most business-savvy people in the restaurant world. He was also there at the beginning of NxtGen Network and has been a huge supporter ever since. So sit back, relax, and prepare to blast off. Sam drops all sorts of wisdom during this episode that can be used to also help you reach out of this world success. Sam Stanovich, how are you doing today, sir?
Oh, my friend, it is so good to see you. No masks. I mean, when we first met, it was in the middle of COVID, so I'm excited to welcome you to Rosemont Big Chicken.
Yeah, that's
and
crazy.
have you in the restaurant.
Yeah, 2019, and I was just getting started. That was wild. You want to tell everybody how we met?
So we met serendipitously through a mutual friend who's an executive director for a school district food service here in Chicago, who my wife's restaurant does catering for. And you had mentioned to him that you were looking for a caterer for this new project.
Shout out to Marcus Shelton, by the way.
Yes. And Marcus is a great connector and a good friend of ours now and mutual friend, and referred us over and gave us the opportunity to come and serve and participate with you and sit and watch all the great innovation and inspiration that you were doing day one here in Chicago.
Yeah, that was our very first project. That's kind of what put us on the map. It was called First Taste TV, as you know. And we had that idea because there was an issue out there where obviously the pandemic was, just getting started. We were knee deep in it, actually. And food manufacturers and equipment manufacturers and people like that couldn't get in front of their customers anymore because there were no more face-to-face meetings. We were like, let's take this concept of like Home Shopping Network or QVC and then like pair that with Food Network and then create a TV show and then gear it towards food service. And it surprisingly it worked. Well, not surprisingly, we had a really good team, but it was just one of those like big ideas that people thought wasn't possible. And we pulled it off in 3 to 4 months, and you guys kept us fueled the entire time while we were filming, and we appreciate that.
Well, and it was a lot of fun, and you guys were inclusive, and you let us join, and we got to watch and see the inception. Matter of fact, I have the gift of a cutting board that you gave and signed for me that still hangs in my office today.
Probably not worth anything.
but I would say what was important and what was the disruptor there was school nutrition. And coming out of my days at the National Restaurant Association, there was that void, right? There was that void of teaching school director, food service directors, what's new, what's innovated, what's coming down the pipeline, because there was nobody fueling that audience in terms of innovation.
Yeah.
And kudos to you and the team and creating something that was disruptive during a disruptive time. And I think it's paying dividends now. And now you've got the brand and you're a trusted advisor for many, many directors across the country and probably now across the world.
Yeah, we are doing some international stuff, and I do feel very blessed. But I mean, none of that success that I'm currently experiencing would have ever happened if it weren't for the team and the opportunities and the trust and the relationships that helped me get here. And you're one of them, so thank you so much for everything.
Well, that's what it's all about. This industry, we help one another.
We do. So whenever I start a podcast, I like to do this whole thing called street cred, right? And it's your way of introducing yourself to the audience and to me, but I already know you. But also patting yourself on the back for all the amazing, innovative, disruptive things and supportive things that you have actually done, because I know you have done some of those things.
Well, that's way too kind of you. So my name is Samuel Stanovich. I am the Senior Vice President for Big Chicken for Franchise Leadership. But I'm just a humble servant of the hospitality industry. I love to serve people, support people, and create a difference in the markets that I have an opportunity to do that in. Like most Americans, my first job was in the hospitality industry. As the National Restaurant Association statistics states, 1 in every 4 Americans begins their career here in the hospitality industry. Went to Johnson & Wales University in Providence, Rhode Island for my undergrad. Worked for Marriott International for a decade. Ran a convention visit bureau here in the state of Illinois, where I represented 33 communities in 4 counties before going over to the National Restaurant Association with a variety of opportunities, including being head of industry relations for the association. There I got to meet some great, amazing CEOs and members and got to lead the Fast Casual Industry Council, the Pizzeria Industry Council. I created the NRA's Tech Tour with a coworker, Anna Towson of mine, and really got to do some innovative things to give back to the industry. At that point, invested in my wife's uncle in Arizona, where we built an independent restaurant, family owned and operated up until 2 years ago when we divested and sold out. And then 8 years ago, decided to make that leap back into entrepreneurship and joined Firehouse Subs as an area developer and franchisee here in the Chicago market. Spent 8 years before I got a call from a good friend who I did a lot of projects with, named Josh Halprin, who's the CEO of Big Chicken, and was coming on board. And we had talked many years ago about working together, and this provided the opportunity. And him and I have been doing it in a little over 2 years. And when you can work and spend time with people that you trust, people that are your friends, it's never a day of work.
Yeah.
So we get to do some really great things. And I've had the privilege and, as you said, blessed over my career to meet so many great people that I get to work with, get to imagine with, get to innovate with, get to volunteer with. I wrote a book during COVID called Catering, Domination with TJ Shear.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we were both sandwich slingers, as we like to call ourselves. He was at Witch Witch and I was at Firehouse. And Kathleen Wood, who's a good friend, kept motivating me to articulate and write down all these great trainings and leadership on catering. And one day I was at a conference, thanks to Nick Voinovich at Little Greek. Again, it's all about the people bringing people together.
Yep.
And talking to TJ, and he's like, I think I want to write this catering book. I'm like, I want to write a catering book, but I don't know how to write a book. He goes, well, I've written 4. Let's do it together. I'm like, no way. He goes, yes, I'll teach you how to do a book. And we put together Catering Domination, which is the top catering, basically, toolkit for anybody who wants to be in the catering business, how to build and have a blueprint to be very successful at it. And the proof is in the pudding. I've several former clients when I did consulting who've used it. I've trained at Firehouse, their system on it. And my wife's restaurant runs 42% catering. And she's in the top 1% of the entire Firehouse sub system based on the systems that are in the book that we wrote. And then when TJ was at Witch Witch, he was in the top 1% of his system. And it's all red threaded through the book. So we don't hold anything back. We don't minus any secret seasonings. We told you how we did it. If you want to do it, you got to go get it. And just like you did with First Taste TV and all of your other things, it's a grind. It's not easy. There's no magic bullet. I can't tell you read the book and you'll be a millionaire tomorrow. But that was, it's a labor of love.
Yeah.
And getting to do those kind of projects and do those kind of things is what's important.
That is awesome. So do you think that book could be almost repurposed for those in institutional food service?
Anybody who's doing catering, right?
That's amazing.
Because what it does is it especially with catering, is everybody wants to do it, but people have to apply a business discipline to it. That's the key in the restaurant business, or any hospitality business in terms of catering. How do you make that part of the business, not an add-on? So many times we've heard, oh, if we add catering, it'll be the gravy. No. It's no different than focusing on dine-in, takeout, carry-out, delivery, catering, right?
Yeah.
It has to be that discipline. And, one of the godfathers of catering, Earl Dardick, used to always talk about that, right? It is not this add-on, and build it into your business plan and you'll be much more successful. So yes, for school nutrition, if they want to, they have a captive audience, but the principles are still the same. You have an audience who needs food service for other options, field trips. Think about all the parent-teacher conferences. The superintendent has meetings. So the food service teams within these districts have an opportunity because they've got beautiful kitchens. They have the supply chain at their fingertips. Why not maximize it?
Yeah.
I mean, there's an opportunity in there to showcase. And, also it's fun for the teams, right? Because now they're not just doing the same repetitive recipes and menus each week based on the schedule. They could put together something creative. And, there's a lot of men and women that work in these kitchens that have food service talents that are just untapped. So put a little of that creativity. Again, you have the supply chain. Why not have a little bit of fun with it?
Yeah, that's cool. So what was it like writing a book? Is it difficult? I mean, I've always dreamt of writing a book one day when I get to your level of success and experience, but it just seems like such a daunting task.
That's what I thought. I was dreading it, and I would meet with Kathleen, and we'd have dinner, and she'd be like, "Sam, where are we on the book?" And I'm like, dragging my feet because I'm not a literary scholar.
Yeah.
I'm a hospitality person, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know what I didn't know. I read some articles, but I can't be thankful enough for TJ in taking me under his wing because he learned he did the hard heavy lifting to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And he coached me through it play by play. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's how it gets structured, and take your best shot. And then we're gonna show you how we hire an editor, and they're gonna make you sound really smart. So write it the way
Yeah.
you're gonna write it, and then we're gonna clean it up. No different than creating a podcast and you go to post production and you clean up all
Yeah.
the mistakes.
Movie magic's a real thing.
That's it. That's it. So book magic is a
Book magic.
real thing. And again, I can't be more thankful than to having a guy like TJ Shear who worked with me, mentored me, and kicked
Yeah.
my butt and said, we want to do this. We're going to crank it out, and we're going to stay on timelines.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, that sounds so cool. I gotta check out the book. So where can people find the book?
On Amazon.
Okay.
It's called Catering Domination.
All right.
Or anybody who wants to reach out to me via social, go to Instagram, Chicago_Sam. That's where I live, reside. Happy to respond to anybody. And I've got cases of books in my house. Happy to send one out.
All right, great. Awesome. So tell me, why did you want to get into hospitality, or did you just kind of fall into it?
So when I was 13 years old, we took our first family vacation.
Okay.
My father was an entrepreneur and grew up very poor and saved to go on vacation to Arizona to visit my grandparents and stayed at my first hotel and saw all the neat jobs in a hotel and saw the fun, saw the passion, saw the inspiration.
Yeah.
And I thought I wanted to be a professional basketball player. As you can tell, I'm about 6'1", and it didn't work out. So I needed to figure out a real job.
I thought the same thing, and I'm 5'10".
Yeah, and so it didn't work out. But
Yeah.
I looked into this innovative career in high school of hospitality, and at the years I was going, it was on the upward swing. Culinary schools, hospitality schools. It was the wave of the future, high demand. They needed executives who studied the program, not fell into it, and found a passion because I just enjoy to serve.
Yeah.
And thought Marriott was going to be my entire career. Did 10 great years working for Marriott International. Let me do a lot of things like yourself. I took roles within a company that nobody else wanted because I saw the opportunity. And I was a general manager out in Naperville when one day I got a call from Christine Jeffries, who's the executive director for the Naperville Development Partnership, and asked me to be her chairman for the Convention Visitor Bureau. Free volunteer job.
Yeah.
So got on this board of directors. And again, people take you under your wings. You work hard for people, people give back. And they're like, Sam, you can do a lot more in life than be Marriott, right? You should expand and look at these other opportunities that are out there that have your skills, passions, and so forth. And there's this opportunity to lead a convention and visitor bureau. And I'm like, well, I've never been a nonprofit director, know nothing about it. They're like, Marriott has trained you. You have your education. It's all business principles. Apply what you do best and you'll be successful. And then surround yourself with the people who fill the gaps of what you need. So you need a good accountant. You need some nonprofit people in the organization. So fill those gaps and then run. And that's what I did. So I took the risk. I diverted. Never in a million years did I think I'd ever call my beautiful bride of 25 years and say, I'm leaving Marriott, because that was the trajectory, right? I wanted to continue to grow, right? I thought I'd be a lifelong employee because it was such a great company and is a great company to work for. And pivoted along the way and took all these different chances. And here I am today taking another chance launching Shaquille O'Neal's Big Chicken brand.
Yeah,
So
and we will get into that in a second, but I have to ask you. So I used to work for Hilton, right?
Okay.
And I am missing those free hotel stays. Are you missing the free Marriott stays? Because I used to go all over the place, golf at amazing resorts, all on Hilton's Island when I worked, and it was great.
there were those perks.
Yeah.
Post Marriott, because I knew how the system worked. I picked Marriott as my loyal hotel that I travel with.
Yeah.
So I did achieve lifetime platinum status with
Oh
Marriott.
man, I'm working on that.
So I have the best of both worlds. I know internally how it works in discounts, and then the privileges of being an elite member within in the organization. So
Yeah, I'm actually in too deep with Hilton. Like I'm working on that lifetime diamond, and once I get that, then I might make the switch over to Marriott. We'll see, because the Marriott hotels are really nice.
but you know what's neat is I was just at the Chicago Marriott downtown where I kind of cut my teeth. And there are still team members that are there today that I said hello to, that remember me from
That's awesome.
back when I had hair and it was a little bit younger, coming out of school, and
Yeah.
thought I was Superman.
Yeah.
But you build the one thing about the hospitality industry, being the second largest private employer in America, is it's a giant fraternity, right? And once you're in this business, you never want to leave.
Nope.
I mean, it really brings you in and motivates you. You rarely see people who come in the hospitality industry go, "Oh, I want to go be an engineer today," or "I want to go write
Yeah.
code." Not that there's anything wrong with it, but you never see that. But you see people from other industries come in because what do? We make people happy,
Yep.
right? And there's a self gratification in working with people and sharing and creating that it's magical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's magical every day when you can feed somebody and give them something, or do something or make their day. It's an amazing deal.
It's all about giving joy.
That's it.
Yeah. So you mentioned people taking you under your wing. So what's your opinion on mentorship? Like, do you have mentors? Do you have mentees? Do you think
100%.
it's important?
100%. You cannot take and not give. So one of the passion things that I do is I teach at a local community college here called College at DuPage. So I teach one class a semester, not for the money, not for the glory, simply to be back in the classroom to give to the next generation of hospitality people.
Yeah. What's the class?
I teach meeting and events in the fall, and I teach hospitality concept and design in the spring. So why it's important is because with my career, I can tell a story, and the story of pivoting and moving and changing. And that's what's important, right? Those are the things that make a difference. I will work with upcoming managers, people who reach out to me. I have no issue with taking that time for an authentic reason.
Yeah.
And that's because so many people in my life have taken me under their wing, and I've kind of created that personal board of directors and people that what you want to find are those people who solely are looking out for you and your family's best interest.
Yeah.
That the only dog in the fight is you.
Yeah.
So that way they can have the honest conversation. And a lot of times, a lot of us, my father's a very important person in my life, my mother. But it's different being a parent than it is with business associates and friends as well. Because as a parent, and I'm a parent of two children, we're a little skewed. So we always wanted in a certain angle for our children, right?
Yeah.
And when you have business associates, they can look without the biases of that portion of it and tell you the cold hard truth. And sometimes you need that kick in the butt.
Yeah.
And sometimes you need the pat on the back, and sometimes you need to call somebody and scream, and sometimes you need to call somebody and cry.
Yeah.
But when you have that core group of people that care about you and you care about them, that pick up the phone randomly, on a regular basis and call you, it's the special part about this industry that just really makes it go round.
Yeah. It's that inner circle. You got to keep it close.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So I'm a huge believer in mentorship and mentors also. And I actually run I co-run an internship program at my church. So my church has a 4-year internship program, and the capstone project and class is all about entrepreneurship. And it was so important for me to get involved with that because when I was up and coming and learning, I didn't have my first mentor until I was like 33, right? Because I didn't see the value in my ignorance. My parents would always tell me to get mentors, but like you said, like parents are kind of biased. They may not make the best business mentors, and I didn't have one. So I kind of had to figure out everything on my own. It's like if I had what these kids have now, I feel like I would have been like 10 years ahead of where I am. And it's so cool too because we'll get into these classes and I will learn from these young adults as I'm teaching them, and it's really neat. It's a great opportunity to give back, and they see the value in it. It's a lot of fun too because we actually film it like Shark Tank. So the whole deal is they have to come up with a solution, create a business plan around it, and they have to pitch it to a panel of sharks, and we film it and everything. It's a lot of fun, and they have a blast.
That's terrific, and that's what's important because
Yeah.
if we can help change somebody's trajectory and inspire them, people want to talk and pick on Amazon, for example, right? The guy started selling used books out of a garage.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's not an entrepreneur story, and let's just go down the line in the restaurant business, right? I mean, one story after another story of somebody who started with nothing and scaled a business, right?
Yeah.
There's no better country to do it in than America.
Nope.
And the people that are here are absolutely amazing. And when you're in the network, it's terrific. I mean, look, you and I keep bouncing ideas off of each other. The folks that I've interacted with across my career, I'm engaging with all the time, right? I have a problem. I have 3 or 4 people that I can call
Yeah.
right off the bat and be like, "Hey, I need a solution." Right? I'm stuck. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And they jump right on it.
They have your back.
Yep.
They have your back. All right. So we are here in Rosemont, Illinois, in Big Chicken. So give me the history of Big Chicken. What's the brand all about?
The Big Chicken is all about big food, big flavor, big fun.
And this big cookie right here?
This big cookie that's the size of an NBA, circumference of an NBA basketball.
Oh, really? That's hilarious.
It's actually 12 cookie portions, all
Okay.
wrapped into one. Our founders, our big founder, as everybody knows, is Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
And he's got 2 amazing co-founders, the Matt Silverman and Matt Pikarski, who he's worked on other projects with. And, Shaquille's been a franchisee and 5 years ago wanted to become, own his own deal. And why chicken? Because chicken is comfort to Shaquille. Growing up, Mama Lucille made a lot of chicken dishes as he was poor growing up on military bases. So she would go to the PX and had a big family to feed. Chickens were the way to do it. And the chicken sandwich is near and dear to Shaquille's heart. And when they were brainstorming the idea and he was looking at all the different proteins, the chef said, "Shaquille, you love chicken.
Yeah.
Why don't we do chicken?
Yeah. Do what you love.
But let's do it big
Yeah.
because you're big."
Yeah.
Right? So let's make some sense out of it. And they recorded the creation of the brand. It's actually on Facebook. If you go to Big Chicken Shack,
Okay.
you can see I think it's a 6-part episodes of them creating the brand, the ideation, the logo selection, all the different things of putting a restaurant group together. So unlike a lot of other celebrity-led concepts, Shaquille is the largest shareholder. He is the boss, chairman of the board.
Yeah.
He is intimate in our business, but it's not about him.
Yeah.
The magic's in the food.
Yeah.
And that's what's exciting is that we have a better for you piece of chicken. So we don't have chicken that has extra antibiotics and hormones. So we actually get a better piece of chicken. We brine that chicken, and then we fresh bread in the restaurant. And our breading is a proprietary recipe that's got over 20 ingredients in it. And we do sandwiches, tenders, and popcorn chicken, French fries, and decadent milkshakes. So we're a laser-like focused brand on serving that best possible piece of chicken and some amazing milkshakes and really just creating a family fun atmosphere in the restaurants. And that's what it's all about, is how do we bring community back to the restaurants? So we build bigger dining rooms because we want families to come in and enjoy. And right now we're averaging, north of 45% dine-in, which it breaks and busts the industry average. All of our restaurants have a family fun activity in it, like an NBA Jam game.
I saw it in the corner.
4-player, free. We don't charge
Oh,
for
that's
it.
awesome.
I mean, it is Shaquille edition. So
Yeah.
if you want to battle Shaq,
Yeah.
come on in and play.
Okay.
We also have some of our restaurants have some other gaming elements because, again, it's all about our mantra: big food, big flavor, big fun.
Yeah.
So we got to bring that all together. And we don't try to turn it into, you don't walk in and there's 1,000 images of the boss in here.
Yeah.
Because it's about the food. We want people to eat, but we want them to know that it's authentic and it's sincere to who we are.
Yeah. And you know what? This is my first time actually being in a Big Chicken. And when I walked in, I was like, it kind of feels like home. It feels comfortable. Like I feel welcomed walking in. And I didn't know that you guys had a larger dining room. Like I thought it was going to be more of like your typical like fast casual restaurant, but this is much more and it's much cooler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're trying to do something different. And again, we want people to take that break. We want people to come in, have an experience, don't feel rushed.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't have that tight table turn. We make the restaurants very modular. So, okay, you come in after school with your friends, you can put some tables together and do your homework, right?
Yeah.
Moms bring in the younger kids in after kindergarten and play school. We've got salads on the menu. We've got a whole variety of things so a little bit of everything for everyone, and we don't mind the noise,
Yeah.
right? We want the kids to be in here, and we want to inspire them and help do something different.
Yeah. I love how you guys have a patio
Yes.
outside. That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited. You know, each location's a little different. Some have patios. This one we had the opportunity. You know, Mayor Stevens here in Rosemont, Illinois, was terrific in the development, and creation and flexibility. And he said, you know, we've got the space. Why don't you guys do a patio out here? And you know, Chicagoans, when the weather's great, we want to sit outside.
Yeah.
So we've got western sun exposure. One of the other things in this restaurant is we do have beer and wine.
I was going to bring that up.
So
Yeah.
you can have a happy hour.
Yeah.
So again, now we've got different day parts, different consumers,
Yeah.
different people within the visiting the restaurant for different occasions.
Yeah, that's great. So what was it like? What was the experience like getting into the franchise? And how can someone that's interested in being a franchisee get involved?
So the franchise, we are looking for those who have had restaurant experience, because these are fast moving opportunities.
Okay.
It's very easy. You go to bigchicken.com, click franchising.
Yeah.
Fill out a short form. It's going to send it directly to me. I handle all the franchising, all the interviews, candidates, and
Okay.
But then I also work with all the franchisees when we're done.
Okay.
We are looking for those who are passionate about food service with restaurant experience, who want to jump in and grow a brand with a big boss and a big chicken sandwich.
So what's it like working with the big boss, with the man himself, Shaquille O'Neal?
He is everything that you've read or think about him. He is humble. He is personable. He likes to have fun.
Yeah, he seems hilarious.
I mean, backstage, we were just celebrating the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation this past weekend in October, raising money for Boys and Girls Club. You know, he's done some amazing things in his life, and he's at the stage where he wants to give back, and that's what Big Chicken's about. This isn't the brand that's going to change his economics, but
Yeah.
being in franchising, he has the opportunity to help grow other people's wealth. And that's what he's trying to do with it. But as a person, I'd walk through a wall for him. For what he does for me and my family and the support he gives us is unparalleled. I mean, he honestly helps remove roadblocks and grow sales. And when you sit down and you have a business conversation, it is 100% laser-like business. He remembers, you know, with all of the enterprises he has going on, with all the DJ events, he is on cue when he calls or we're in a meeting and he's like, Sam, boom, 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 ABC. And what happened here?
Yeah.
And he's got a memory that is unparalleled again, especially all the things that he has going on. It's just absolutely amazing. So yes, when you hear people that want to line up to be behind him, 100% agree on that.
He sounds like a great mentor.
Yes.
That's cool. And it's so neat seeing someone like him want to give back. And like, where did he get all the experience? Well, I guess he got experience just from doing things and taking chances, but I wonder who really taught him how to do everything that he's doing now, like business wise.
Well, there were people who saw the potential in him. And there are stories of different people who came into his life to help change that. Now it starts because he had a good parental system with his mom and his stepdad, Sergeant Harrison, who kept him in line, right? So it starts with the family structure, and it built from there. And he was fortunate that unlike a lot of other celebrities who get people who just want to take the money and not think about it, there were people who really carried, and we talk about that mentorship, that cared about him as a person and what it was going to be long term, and taught him that he didn't need an entourage and he didn't need all the flashy stuff because as you look back in history, he blew a lot of paychecks when he got his first contract.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a young kid. Yeah.
He almost went bankrupt a couple times. And then he got good people under his wings who thought through it and he listened. Here's the key, though. He was open to understanding and embracing, and something in his mind, because of the influences of the people that he had and the mentors, triggered to say, okay, these people are right, and then set him on the trajectory.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he likes to give back so much and do so much because of his upbringing. I mean, there are more things that he does that never gets captured or promoted on a daily basis because that's a core value to him.
Yeah.
To give back every day.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. So what's next for Big Chicken? You guys expanding, looking at different states. What states are you in right now?
So we've only been franchising for a little over 2 years.
Okay.
So we are on a super growth trajectory mode. We are the only brand that has an intergalactical restaurant deal signed. Yep.
What are you talking about?
So we have a franchise agreement signed with Blue Origin and Amazon.
Okay.
In this October, you're going to see a big press release. We got something special coming out, Marlon, for all the kids. So I'm going to tease it right there, but I will give you the drop on Big Chicken and Blue Origin very shortly.
Blue Origin, all right.
And but it's going to be very special. We are growing across the U.S. We enter international markets next year. Our first full international market will be the U.K. So we're very excited about that. But we're just at the inception. We've got between traditional brick and mortar and non-traditional, we've got 28 restaurants open. We are in 2023 and have between 4 and 7 before the end of the year. And then there's 20 kitchen projects in the hopper, which that's construction, design, leases. Next year will probably be about 35 for 24, and 24 isn't the year I worry about. It's 25 when we're going to be opening, north of 60, 70 restaurants and opening a restaurant like, every week we're going to be opening more than one restaurant. So that's giving me a little heartburn right now. But we, because we're selecting multi-unit restaurant partners, they have experience scaling as well.
Yeah.
So we're a little bit more confident in our abilities and their abilities because they have teams and infrastructures that help scale as well.
Yeah. So do you guys have any in Florida where
we are building in Orlando as we speak?
Ooh, okay.
We've got 5 leases, kitchen designs under construction right now, from Lake all the way up north in Lake Mary to Orlando, Pinellas County, all the way down to Doral and Fort Lauderdale. So we're coming to Florida very, very strong.
Well, I can't wait till you guys get to Tampa, where I live.
Well, and I have a place down in Tampa as well. So I was very excited when they had the Pinellas County out on 19.
Okay.
We lost a couple spaces downtown Tampa.
Yeah.
But they're on the hunt for it. So I can't promise anything, but Tampa's in our future.
Great. Do you know where in Pinellas it is? Where on 19?
I do not know the address off the top.
Is it like Palm Harbor or Clearwater? Do you know?
I believe it's just north of Palm Harbor.
Okay, cool. That's not too far from
me.
No, I got family over there, so
it'll be the drive. It'll be the drive,
but it'll be worth the drive.
100%.
So I have to ask, what's your favorite item, or your favorite dish on the menu? Because you got some pretty cool looking stuff. I saw a sandwich that had macaroni and cheese on it. Like, you guys have all sorts of crazy things.
Yeah, the ultimate is pretty much the ultimate.
Yeah.
A sandwich with macaroni and cheese. I would say right now my favorite is our Nashville Hot.
Okay.
Just because I like the flavor. It's named after Uncle Jerome, who's Shaquille's uncle, who loves Nashville.
Okay.
And the Nashville Hot flavoring.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is because I am very sensitive to super hot things. It's more flavor than it is heat.
Oh, okay.
So
you're talking my language.
Yeah, and that's what's important in food. But the journey on our sandwiches is what's important. Is that we have a flavor wheel that's available and open to everybody. So you have very basic, all the way through Nashville Hot. We've just added a ghost pepper seasoning. So if you want super hot, we've got the buffalo. We have the mac and cheese. We do some interesting combinations with our jalapeno slaw and avocado. So you have the ability to mix, match, and design different things amongst the 8 sandwiches. Because it's a hospitality business.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that it's available to everybody. We also don't fry all the chicken. So if you want a grilled chicken, you can get that as well.
So I saw on the sign earlier it was chicken and donuts or something like that.
So here in Chicago, we have a very special relationship with Stan's Donuts.
Okay.
We worked with Rich Labriola, their founder, on creating a special sandwich for Chicago called the Stanwich. Some people outside of Chicago think that I named it after myself since my last name is Stanovich.
That's what I thought too. I'm gonna go with that.
I'm gonna start marketing that personally, that I have my own sandwich on the Big Chicken menu outside of Chicago.
Yeah.
But it is a decadent sandwich done with a maple glazed donut that Rich makes with our Nashville hot chicken. And
Man.
you put the sweet and savory together, and Marlon, it's amazing.
That sounds good.
One of the things about Big Chicken that is non-traditional is, as we look at different markets, we look at bringing local flavors to that market and doing some unique things. And what we'd like to do is tie in local operators as well, because again, it's about community.
Yeah.
How better than to be authentic, which is one of our values, than we say we're authentic, we say we do things local, than to work with local operators.
Yeah.
Right. So that's how we mix and match. And because we are a franchise system, all of our franchisees are all local operators as well.
Yeah.
So we have a local family here in Chicago that's developing 6 restaurants. We work with Rich Labriola with Stan's. I mean, it's just bringing the whole philosophy of the organization together.
I love the collaboration.
That's very important.
Yeah. So are there like family recipes? Because Shaq's mom used to make chicken. The family loves chicken. So does she have any like original family recipes on the menu here?
So the mac and cheese
Okay.
is Mama Lucille's mac and cheese. It's a 3-cheese blend.
Okay.
And that is her recipe.
Awesome.
So yes, when you look at the stuff that's on the menu, fortunately, because of the mats, we have culinary excellence, and we drive culinary and work and inspire Shaquille's flavor profile. So you do have the fan favorites like that. The mac and cheese, which is Lucille's recipe. You have our chicken sandwich, which is Shaquille's flavor, right? That he loves our chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
His trainer doesn't like it as much. So certain times of years we have to make it grilled for him. But, when he's in a market with the restaurants, he's in the restaurants eating. And it's so much fun when he gets in, because he just takes up some tables, and, some people are scared to talk to him. And most of the time he's like, hey, man, sit down.
Yeah.
Let's have lunch. And he buys lunch for you.
That's great.
Because he's proud of the food. I think that's one thing this organization, we all are. And it was very important for me coming into the organization that I wanted to be associated with great food.
Yeah.
And everybody on the team, we're very proud of our food and our creations and our focus on it.
So who was responsible for developing the menu? Was it like a collaborative effort between the Mats and you, or is it pretty much?
No, I came in after the menu was designed in the
Okay.
corporate stores. Josh and I have been here about 2.5 years. It was the 2 Mats and Shaquille.
Okay.
The Mats, who are founders, who are in the day-to-day business, and Rob Ryan, who's our corporate chef.
Okay.
The 3 chefs, and Shaquille work on it. Obviously, he delegates, and the chefs are in the kitchen, coming up with it. But Shaquille will call up and throw in ideas.
Yeah.
And many of those ideas will get vetoed. But again, it's a collaborative nature. You can't always win, right? And just because you're the chairman doesn't mean that you get your way with everything. It has to make sense. And when you have 2 trusted or 3 trusted chefs who are partners, I mean, it doesn't get better than that. So watching their innovation, this summer we did a blueberry shake. Last year we did a peach cobbler. And Marlon, if you were eating this peach cobbler shake and you closed your eyes, you thought you had peach cobbler pie
Really?
in every spoonful.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, but you know what? It's so important to have people that are on your side, on your team, that are willing to say no. Like you said, Shaq would have an idea, but it may get vetoed.
Right.
But it's like you need people on your team that are willing to be honest and say, hey, this probably isn't going to work. Let's try this instead. Because I've been in experiences and had relationships where everybody just always wants to say yes, 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 yes. And a lot of times in hindsight, I'm like, that answer should have been a no. Like, why are they telling me yes when it should have been no? So it's so important to have people like that will guide you.
Well, 100%. And when you're confident and you have experience and you're open and you have a team, you utilize the team. I mean, you look at a basketball team, not every player does the same thing. At Big Chicken, we have an amazing team. we have an operations leader in Brian Cochran who used to work for Thomas Keller. He's probably one of the best operations people I've ever met in my life.
Okay.
And we all have conversations and we'll have ideas, and Brian will be like, nope. Like, come on, Brian. He goes, yeah, I know you've done it. I've done it too. The answer is no. But we have healthy dialogue. Here's the key, Marlon. It's not about the yes or no. It's about the healthy dialogue of everybody learning together, because there are times where Brian will have said no, and then we'll talk about it and be like, okay, maybe we should try it. Same thing with Josh. Same thing with me. Same thing with Trisha, our head of training, Marcy Rude, who's our head of real estate. We are collaborative. We have weekly calls. We all don't know the answer. And for one person, because sometimes you may have a bias to make the answers, is not fair. And that doesn't build winning teams.
Yeah.
Winning teams collaborate. They discuss. Sometimes you have to say no. Sometimes you're going to disagree. That's all healthy in a good organization to disagree.
Yeah.
The question is, we're all flying the big chicken flag, and the only thing that we care about is big chicken being successful for our customers. So we have a mantra, Marlon, called 4 wins. And it's a very, very simple way of living our day-to-day. Win number 1 is for our customers. Our customers have to get the best chicken sandwich with the best service every single day in our restaurants. That's win number 1. Win number 2 is for our franchise community. They've invested heavily in building out our restaurants and doing something with us. We need to make sure that they're winning, right?
Yep.
Number 3, which we have, is our supplier partners. Because without our supplier partners, we don't get chicken to restaurants. We don't get product. We don't get technology. We need our partners to be successful. So we need to be open and transparent with them and provide them accurate forecasts. We need to let them know when we're moving, what the updates are. We can't surprise them because they have to react to it as well. So the customer has to win first. Our franchise partner wins second. The supplier wins third. And then at the end of the day, the 4th win comes to Big Chicken, because now we've all collaborated and we should all win together.
Yep.
And we don't believe in any, and you hear Josh say this all the time, we don't believe any whack-a-mole. So one can't win over the other. All 4 have to win together. So it isn't that Big Chicken is always at the top and everybody else is going to suffer. Everybody wins together, and that's how we move the company. And that's why, we've been very successful in development. With our 28 partners and 350 restaurants in development today in October of 2023. And that's why our trajectory is skyrocketing and we're moving so fast.
Yeah, you guys.
Because we have that ethos, and everybody believes in that ethos, and you'll hear it here. You've heard it for the last 2 years. This is what we do day in and day out.
Man, you're inspiring me. I need to come up with some big wins for my company too. That's great. All right. So I know you guys are getting ready to open up. So I have one last question for you.
Okay.
What separates you guys from your competition? I mean, you named a lot of things already, but there was like one thing that you could say where it's like, come to Big Chicken over this other place. What would that be?
The food. It's 100% the food.
Yeah.
It's the food. It's the food flavor wheel that we have, because yes, we have a chicken sandwich, but we do the chicken sandwich different ways. So you don't have to be bored.
Yeah.
Right? You can get it today grilled on a salad. Tomorrow you can get it fried Uncle Jerome style. The 3rd day you can get the popcorn. On the 4th day you can get a tender, right?
Yeah.
You want to be a little decadent, you can get the peanut butter chocolate milkshake, right? You want to share, you can take the big cookie home, right?
I'm taking that home.
Which is 12 cookie portions, right? And the circumference of an NBA basketball.
Yeah.
But you can mix and match. You can do different things. You want to sauce it up. We've got a sauce bar.
Yeah.
So you got 5 sauces on the sauce bar. Sauce it up.
Yeah.
So again, what's your imagination, right? We're giving you the building blocks to build flavor and enjoyment. So come spend 20, 30, 40 minutes with us and have an experience. Put a smile on your face. Watch a little Big Chicken Shack run around chasing chickens, play some NBA Jam, and then go back to work or get your break from school. Again, we're about creating big food, big flavor, big fun in all of our restaurants.
Well, I'm about to eat one of those big, what was it called? The Stanovich chicken?
Oh,
or
the Stanwich?
The Stanwich.
Yes, I'm going to take that from you, Marlon, and I'm going to quote that in the next city. Maybe in Tampa, we're going to call it the Stanovich.
Yes, you should do that. You should do that. I love that. Well, Sam, thank you so much for, hanging out with me today, being so welcoming, having me come in, while you guys are opening up shop, and just the friendship that we continue to build, and really always being there for me, because we just started, I feel like, really building our friendship. And whenever we met, it was like we, text back and forth here or there, but now we're starting to see each other more at conferences. And dude, you're always there for me. You're super supportive, and I really appreciate everything that you're doing for us in the industry.
That's very kind of you, Marlon, and thanks for being an entrepreneur in this great country and taking a risk and looking out for all the school nutrition folks out there and doing something different for that niche who's been underutilized, for all the talents that they have, and providing them a service. So kudos to you and the team, and being an inspiration to me as an entrepreneur as well.
All right, thanks, man. Catch you next time.
You got it.